anyway, but it's in a completely different place because it's a city-state. The people in DC still can't vote for president. They can vote in local elections that they have there. I don't live in DC. I did try to move as close as I possibly could to our nation's capital because I was concerned about things in this country. I feel like being informed is a great part of being a part of our elective process. And I'm just very troubled about things I see every day. I am originally from the state of Texas. The state of Texas is a red state. What I have seen is like if you are a terrible politician for some reason, you get advanced quickly in the state of Texas. We have our head of the Department of Energy, Rick Perry, who was like a shitty governor. We advanced George W. Bush, who also was a shitty governor of the state of Texas. I'm originally from Houston, which is usually a spot of blue inside this red state. Houston has given me lots of opportunities that I probably wouldn't have if I grew up someplace else. Houston has no minorities. It's basically everyone is a part of the majority. Houston also is very, very diverse. Just like here, I like to live in diverse places because it makes it easier to move around as a brown person. I must say, honestly, I'm just introducing myself, so I'm going to talk about my political views. I lean very left, to be honest, and I vote for the rights of women because I am a woman. I vote for the rights of minorities and people who are undocumented because I myself have been an immigrant. I lived overseas for 10 years in Hong Kong, and I was an immigrant. And sometimes my paperwork wouldn't be as neat as I would like it to be. So I also have been an undocumented individual at times. So I understand the plight of people coming to a place to make their lives better. I am a member of the League of Women Voters. I just signed up today. My mother always wanted that to be. My mother was very politically active. She protested against the death penalty. She's protested against the judicial system, the way criminal courts treat minorities, because it's not fair. I am 42 years old, which means I'm old enough to have seen things that a lot of people from later generations weren't able to see. I'll give you an example. My birth certificate says that my father is a Negro and my mother was colored. That always shocks me when I see that document, just to be able to see like the insight of the past. And also, if race is just a human construct, why would you label someone before they even get a name? I mean, that to me is always shocking. I am very vocal about my views. I actually incorporate that into my comedy. And I would like to be funny about things. I mean, we're sitting here after a week of hearings about impeachment, and it looks like your boy is not just a little bit guilty, but very guilty. America always leaves me speechless sometimes just because we have issues here at home. I know we just signed off on a document supporting the people of Hong Kong in their quest for democracy, but I kind of feel like that wasn't a move for the people, even though it should be. I feel like that was a move about the trade agreement between the U.S. and China, as so many of our goods that we have are made there, and tariffs would make that not a good place for companies. which for some reason America really loves corporations and companies. They're considered people here, which lessens the rights of the people, I feel. I am about to go into work later on today. I do have a job. I do work. I'm a part of this nation's economy. I buy things. I do things. I vote. I participate. I'm here. And I chose to be here. I think that's what goes home. I could probably live a life someplace else and have my needs met, but I decided to come back home to fight for the needs of the greater good. And by starting this blog, I would like to be able to vocalize these things. I am going to interview people, but I wanted to start out with a general introduction to myself and what I plan to do. The name of this blog is The News to My Knowledge, which means I read the news, I watch the news, and then I incorporate what, to my knowledge, is going on. So right now, to my knowledge, we have a war on women. To my knowledge, we have a war on the poor. To my knowledge, we are lessening the rights of people based on the color of their skin and their beliefs. I don't like this. This is not why America is great. America is great because we put in force documents that supposedly solidify the rights of the people. And I feel like this has been misconstrued and taken to a point where it's not about the rights of the people, but the rights of companies, corporations, things of that nature. And to me personally, that's not right. I have no problem with people who start companies or get rich or things of that nature. But I do skew kind of towards socialism just because I want to see the needs of the people being met. Like just small things like health care or access to services or being able to put food on the table. Recently with the gig economy, what I have seen is a lot of people putting out effort to be hardworking, to be a part of this nation's economy, and their basic needs aren't met. Like they are not able to pay rent, they're not able to pay for health care, they're not able to pay for child care, and that's a problem. A big problem. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's like worthy of this country where we go and enforce freedoms in other places, but I feel like they're not freedoms here. This is just a basic introduction. We are looking at a lot of issues here, and I'm going to talk about these issues in various places around the DMV. Curious thing, the whole DMV can fit in my hometown, so I have personal problems sometimes with people who are like, oh my God, my boyfriend is from Maryland, and I'm from Virginia, and we're two different strains of people. And I'm just like, how? It's 10 miles apart. Where I come from, 10 miles is like to the store. But that's enough about me. I want to have submissions from people in other places around the world about things that are going on in their countries so we can know. And it can be interpreted. I mean, a lot of people in America do not watch unbiased news, which is strange to me. And they side with things like Rush Limbaugh and Fox News. I've noticed a lot of African immigrants listening to Fox News and Rush Limbaugh because they want to have information about what's going on in this country, and it's all skewed funny. I don't understand why you would rely on news sources that aren't for you to interpret the news that's happening. You know, I understand like a lot of these people come from countries where there have been coups or government changes and they've been quite violent and they've had to escape these things to here. And they're siding with our president because they're afraid of what would happen if they don't. And I want to tell them, yo, it's okay to not side with that guy. He's not for you. And he's not someone you can trust with your best needs. That's enough about me. I hope to go further with this. I have a little rig. I'm getting a microphone so the audio will get better. But with this little bare bones setup that I have right now, this is the best I can do. Have a good evening, and thank you.